Awakening the power of thought. Wealth, success, and abundance are not accidents. They are the outcomes of a mindset. Long before a person holds money in their hand, they must hold prosperity in their mind. Every great achievement begins as an invisible seed of thought, planted deep within the soil of human imagination. To awaken financial blessings, one must first awaken the mind to its own magnetic power. Thought is creative. Every idea, every image, every belief shapes the circumstances of our lives. Imagine your mind as a magnet. Whatever you hold in it, whether fear or faith, lack or abundance, cannot help but be drawn into your experience. Those who constantly dwell on limitation, who see only what is missing, unknowingly call more of it into their lives. On the other hand, those who focus on possibility, who expect success, open the doors for wealth to flow in unexpected ways. The truth is simple: what we continually think about, we eventually bring about. When people hear the word magnet, they picture iron being pulled effortlessly by an unseen force. Thoughts work in the same way. They may be invisible, but they are far from powerless. A mind charged with confidence and prosperity sends out vibrations that align with opportunities, resources, and helpful people. This is not mystical fantasy, it is the natural law of focus. Wherever energy goes, results follow. If you constantly feed your mind with scarcity, the energy you emit will block creative solutions. If you focus on wealth, gratitude, and success, your mind will begin to attract ideas and paths that bring those very results. Consider two individuals standing side by side, facing the same economic environment. One complains that money is impossible to find, that jobs are scarce, that success belongs only to a lucky few. The other believes that opportunities exist everywhere, that each challenge contains a hidden gift, that resources flow to those who prepare for them. Though both live in the same world, their experiences will differ drastically. Why? Because the first person's thoughts repel wealth, while the second person's thoughts magnetize it. The first step in awakening the power of thought is awareness. We must pay attention to our inner dialogue. How do we talk to ourselves about money? Do we secretly believe that it is hard to earn, that it slips away easily, or that we are undeserving of it? Such hidden beliefs act like weights tied to the wings of our potential. No matter how hard we try externally, these negative convictions pull us back into patterns of lack. Awareness is followed by choice. Every thought is a seed, and we must decide which seeds we allow to take root. If we constantly repeat, "I can't afford this," or "I'll never have enough," we water weeds of limitation. But if we consciously choose to think, "Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways," or "I am open to prosperity and new opportunities," we water seeds of abundance. Over time, those positive seeds sprout and reshape our reality. Awakening the power of thought also means practicing discipline. The mind, left on its own, often wanders into fear and worry. Like a garden, it must be tended daily. Positive affirmations, visualization, and gratitude are tools that train the mind to stay aligned with prosperity. Just as muscles grow stronger with exercise, thoughts grow stronger with repetition. Every time you replace a thought of doubt with one of faith, you reinforce the magnet of abundance. Finally, awakening the mind is not about wishful thinking, it is about alignment. You do not simply hope for wealth, you shape your thoughts to attract wealth, then take actions guided by those thoughts. The awakened mind notices opportunities others overlook. It sees connections, solutions, and pathways hidden from the eyes of those clouded by negativity. When you begin to understand that your thoughts are magnets, you treat them with reverence. You no longer waste mental energy on lack, fear, or comparison. Instead, you cultivate an inner environment rich with belief, confidence, and vision. From that place, money, resources, and opportunities flow naturally. The greatest wealth is not in your pocket, but in your mindset. Once you awaken the power of thought, prosperity in the physical world becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Words as seeds of wealth. Words are not mere sounds that pass through the air. They are seeds planted into the fertile ground of the subconscious mind. Every phrase we utter, whether casual or intentional, carries with it the power to create or to destroy, to open doors or to close them. When we begin to understand the creative force behind language, we realize that our words shape our financial destiny as much as our actions do. Think of a farmer in the field. If he scatters seeds of wheat, wheat will grow. If he scatters seeds of thorns, thorns will grow. The soil does not argue, it produces what is planted. In the same way, the mind accepts the words we speak, and from those words it brings forth results. If we consistently speak words of lack, I never have enough. Money slips through my fingers. I can't afford anything. We are planting seeds that can only grow into poverty and frustration. If, on the other hand, we choose words of prosperity, money flows to me easily. I live in a universe of abundance. I attract opportunities every day. We plant seeds of wealth and expansion. What makes words so powerful is that they bypass logic and sink into the deeper levels of the mind. Even if we laugh or say something carelessly, the subconscious does not know the difference between a joke and a command. It receives every word as an instruction. This is why idle speech can be so dangerous. Complaining about bills, joking about being broke, or constantly repeating that life is hard reinforces limitation. Over time, the subconscious takes these repeated messages as truth and manifests circumstances to match them. The reverse is also true. Deliberate and intentional words act as instructions for the subconscious to create new realities. When someone declares, "I am open to receiving wealth from multiple sources," or "My income increases constantly," the subconscious begins aligning thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to make those declarations come true. It is not magic, it is simply how the mind is designed to operate. Words shape beliefs, beliefs guide actions, and actions create results. To understand the power of words, reflect on how language influences mood. A single harsh comment can ruin a person's entire day, while a single kind affirmation can uplift and energize them. If words can change emotions so quickly, imagine the cumulative effect of words, repeated daily over months and years. They do not just change moods, they change identities. And when identity shifts, financial behavior shifts with it. A person who constantly says, "I am unlucky with money," will behave differently from someone who says, "I am worthy of wealth and success." The practice of planting wealth, producing words requires both discipline and awareness. It is not enough to say one positive phrase once or twice and then return to the language of lack. Just as a farmer waters his crops daily, we must water our lives with consistent affirmations of prosperity. This can be done through morning declarations, writing affirmations in a journal, or simply replacing negative statements with positive ones in everyday conversation. For example, instead of saying, "I can't afford this," shift to, "How can I afford this?" Instead of, "Money never stays with me," say, "Money circulates in my life and always returns multiplied." Another powerful practice is blessing what you already have with your words. Saying, "Thank you for this income," or "I bless every dollar that comes into my life," amplifies appreciation, which draws more to be thankful for. When you speak with gratitude, you send out a frequency of increase, and life responds by multiplying your blessings. Remember also that words are not only about yourself, but also about others. When you speak abundance over friends, family, or even strangers, you reinforce abundance in your own life. Words of envy and criticism create a vibration of lack, but words of encouragement and blessing create a vibration of prosperity. Ultimately, words are tools, and every tool can build or destroy. To master the art of prosperity, one must become a careful craftsman of speech. Let your tongue be an instrument of growth, not decay. Each statement is a seed, each phrase carries potential. By planting words of abundance, you create a harvest of abundance. The financial destiny of a person is often written long before money arrives in their account. It is written in the daily language they choose to use. To unlock wealth, you must first master the seeds you scatter. Speak wisely, for your words today are the harvest you will reap tomorrow. Faith as the currency of abundance money is often seen as the ultimate currency. The measure by which needs are met, opportunities are seized, and dreams are fulfilled. But behind every dollar, every coin, every financial transaction, there exists a deeper, invisible currency: faith. Without faith, even great wealth can vanish in fear and insecurity. With faith, even the smallest beginnings can expand into abundance. Faith is the unseen bridge between desire and fulfillment, the spiritual energy that calls provision into form. To understand faith as the true currency of abundance, consider this: money itself is only paper and metal, yet billions of people trust in its value every day. That trust gives money its power. In the same way, faith is the trust in life's ability to provide, to expand, and to meet needs at the right time. Where trust is absent, anxiety takes over, and opportunities slip by unnoticed. Where trust is present, the mind becomes calm, resourceful, and open to new channels of prosperity. Fear and worry are the counterfeits of faith. They look like preparation, but in reality, they drain energy and repel opportunities. A person who constantly frets about bills, debts, or lack unknowingly tightens the flow of abundance. Their mind becomes so fixed on problems that it cannot see solutions. Worry whispers, "There is not enough." Faith declares, "There is always more than enough." Worry limits imagination. Faith expands it. Faith also acts as a compass. It gives direction when circumstances look confusing or uncertain. Imagine walking through a dense fog with no map. Each step feels risky, and doubt tempts you to stop moving altogether. But faith provides an inner knowing that guides you forward. It says, "The path will appear as you walk." Those who operate with this mindset often discover doors opening where walls once stood. They are not reckless. They are confident that life supports their efforts. Many people mistakenly believe that abundance flows only to those with connections, privileges, or luck. But history shows countless examples of individuals who rose from humble beginnings, driven not by resources but by belief. They dared to imagine possibilities where others saw impossibilities. That courage was faith in action, and it magnetized the very opportunities they needed. The world responds not to desperation, but to conviction. Practicing faith as a currency means responding to challenges with confidence instead of fear. When an unexpected expense arises, instead of panicking, one might affirm, "This need will be met. Solutions are already on the way." Such words calm the nervous system and allow the mind to search creatively for answers. Often, unexpected help or resources appear once worry has been replaced with trust. Faith clears the mental clutter and makes space for inspiration. Another key aspect of faith is patience. Just as a farmer does not dig up the soil every day to check whether seeds have sprouted, we too must trust the timing of results. Impatience is another form of doubt. It signals a lack of belief that things are working beneath the surface. Faith, however, rests with assurance. What I have planted will bear fruit in the right season. This calm expectation creates a vibration of certainty that accelerates manifestation. Faith is also contagious. A single confident leader can inspire entire teams or families to move forward despite obstacles. Similarly, a single person's belief in their own abundance can shift the atmosphere in their household or workplace. When you carry faith, others feel it. They sense stability, courage, and optimism, and they are drawn to be part of your vision. This magnetic influence often leads to new partnerships, investments, and opportunities that would not appear to someone radiating fear. The practical question then becomes, how does one strengthen faith? The answer lies in daily practice. Faith grows when exercised. Each time you choose to trust instead of worry, you build the muscle of belief. Meditation, affirmations, prayer, and visualization are powerful tools, but so are small acts of trust. Investing in a new skill, starting a venture, or giving generously, even when resources feel limited. Each step of faith proves to your mind that abundance is real, reinforcing confidence for the future. In the end, faith is not blind hope. It is a deliberate stance that says, I believe in provision, even if I cannot see it yet. It is the conviction that life supports growth, that opportunities surround us, and that wealth flows toward those who expect it. Money may change hands, markets may rise and fall, but faith endures as the one currency that never loses value. To live by faith is to live in abundance, long before the bank account reflects it. It is to know, with unshakable certainty, that needs will be met, doors will open, and prosperity will flow. Faith is the foundation of every fortune, the hidden wealth that fuels all visible wealth. When you make faith your currency, abundance becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Gratitude unlocks the flow. Gratitude is more than good manners or polite words. It is one of the most powerful forces for unlocking abundance in life. When you live with a spirit of thankfulness, you align yourself with increase, growth, and expansion. Gratitude turns what you already have into enough, and more than enough. It shifts your perspective from lack to plenty, from struggle to opportunity, from limitation to possibility. In this way, gratitude becomes the key that opens the door for wealth to flow more freely. One of the greatest mistakes people make in their financial journey is focusing too much on what they lack. They complain about their salary, worry about their bills, or envy what others possess. These attitudes create a vibration of scarcity. When you constantly focus on what is missing, you attract more situations that confirm the feeling of not enough. Gratitude, on the other hand, flips the entire equation. By appreciating even the smallest blessings, whether a paycheck, a meal, or an unexpected opportunity, you send a message to life that you recognize and value abundance. In response, life multiplies it. Think of gratitude as a magnet. A grateful heart attracts more experiences to be grateful for. A complaining heart repels them. Just as a store owner would gladly give more to a customer who appreciates their service, the universe responds generously to those who appreciate what they already have. Gratitude is not passive. It is an active declaration that you are ready for more, because you honor what is already in your hands. Gratitude also changes the way we experience money. Without gratitude, even large amounts can feel empty or stressful. A person can earn a high income and still feel dissatisfied if they are constantly comparing themselves to others. But with gratitude, even modest resources feel rich, because they are seen as gifts. Gratitude brings contentment, and contentment attracts expansion. The person who blesses a small income will one day bless a larger one, because the same vibration that values little can handle much. Another dimension of gratitude is that it shifts focus from fear to trust. When unexpected expenses arise, many people respond with worry or anger, but the grateful person sees even challenges as opportunities for growth. They say, "Thank you for the chance to expand my resourcefulness. Thank you for the lessons this situation is teaching me." This attitude dissolves fear and keeps the mind open to creative solutions. Problems shrink when gratitude grows. Gratitude also strengthens relationships, which are often the channels through which financial blessings arrive. When you express genuine thanks to colleagues, clients, friends, or family, you build trust and goodwill. People naturally want to give more to those who appreciate their efforts. Opportunities, referrals, and partnerships often flow through human connections, and gratitude ensures those connections remain strong and supportive. The practice of gratitude can be simple yet life-changing. It can be as easy as keeping a daily journal of blessings, where you write down 3 to 5 things you are thankful for each day. Over time, this trains your mind to scan for abundance instead of lack. Another practice is speaking gratitude aloud, saying, "Thank you for income received, for meals eaten, for the home that shelters you." Even blessing every bill you pay with the words, "I am grateful I have the means to handle this," transforms financial obligations into reminders of provision. Gratitude is also a multiplier. When you bless what you give, whether it is a gift, a donation, or a service, you amplify the return. Giving with resentment drains energy. Giving with gratitude enriches both giver and receiver. In this way, gratitude keeps money in healthy circulation, preventing it from becoming a source of fear or hoarding. It is important to note that gratitude is not denial. It does not mean pretending that challenges do not exist. Instead, it is the choice to focus on the good within every situation. Gratitude sees the seed of abundance even in adversity. It says, "This difficulty will pass, but the lessons I learn will stay with me forever." Such an outlook ensures that no experience is wasted, and even struggles become stepping stones to prosperity. Ultimately, gratitude is a state of being. It is waking up each morning with the awareness that life itself is a gift, that opportunities surround you, and that abundance is always within reach. When practiced consistently, gratitude becomes a magnet for miracles. It unlocks the flow of money, opportunities, ideas, and relationships in ways that logic alone cannot explain. Gratitude unlocks the flow because it signals readiness. It tells life, "I value what I have, and I am prepared for more." And when life hears that, it responds in kind, by pouring out blessings that exceed expectation. Living prosperity with generosity. True prosperity is not measured by how much we keep, but by how freely we allow abundance to circulate through our lives. Generosity is the ultimate expression of wealth, for it proves that we live not in fear of loss, but in confidence of continual supply. When we give, we acknowledge that we are channels of abundance rather than hoarders of resources. This mindset creates a flow, and in that flow, both giving and receiving expand. Money, like water, must move to stay fresh. If a stream is blocked, it stagnates. If money is held too tightly out of fear, it becomes a source of anxiety and decay. But when money circulates, through giving, investing, supporting others, it grows and multiplies. Generosity keeps the current of prosperity alive. ensuring that wealth does not end with us, but continues to ripple outward. In doing so, it inevitably returns to us in greater measure. Generosity does not always mean giving vast sums of money. It begins with a spirit of openness and willingness to share. It can be expressed in kind words, encouragement, time, or acts of service. A person who gives sincerely, no matter the size of the gift, activates the law of circulation. Even a small gesture, given with love, carries immense power. The mindset is what matters. When you give as though you already have more than enough, you confirm abundance in your own life. Fear often keeps people from generosity. They worry, if I give, will I have enough left for myself? But this fear is rooted in the belief of scarcity. Generosity, on the other hand, declares, there is always enough, and more is on the way. When you give, you affirm trust in life's supply, and that trust becomes the magnet that draws new blessings. Time and again, people who live generously discover that doors open for them in unexpected ways. Opportunities, partnerships, and resources seem to find their way back to those who keep their hands open. Generosity also transforms the way we experience wealth. Money that is hoarded often brings fear of losing it, fear of not having enough. But money that is shared brings joy. The act of blessing someone else, of meeting a need or supporting a cause, creates a deep sense of fulfillment. Wealth ceases to be a burden and becomes a tool for impact. In this sense, generosity is not only a gift to others, but also a gift to oneself, for it allows us to experience the true purpose of prosperity. Living generously also strengthens relationships, which are essential to long-term success. When you give freely, whether it is knowledge, encouragement, or resources, you build bonds of trust and goodwill. People remember kindness and are eager to support those who once supported them. Many business opportunities, collaborations, and financial breakthroughs arise not through competition, but through networks of generosity. The more we invest in others, the more they, in turn, invest in us. One practical way to live generously is to set aside a portion of every income specifically for giving. This practice sends a powerful message to the subconscious. I always have enough to share. Even if the portion is small, the habit reinforces abundance and keeps the flow of wealth alive. Another approach is to look for daily opportunities to serve others. Offering a kind word, giving time to a friend, or sharing resources without expectation of return. These acts build a mindset of overflow rather than lack. Generosity also deepens gratitude. When we see the impact of our giving in the lives of others, we realize how much we truly possess. It allows us to recognize ourselves not as victims of circumstance, but as contributors to the world. This recognition lifts our sense of identity and self-worth, which in turn attracts even more opportunities for prosperity. It is important to note that generosity must come from sincerity, not obligation. Giving resentfully or out of pressure does not create flow, it creates resistance. But giving with joy and trust amplifies abundance. The heart behind the gift matters more than the size of the gift. When we give with love, we invite love back into our lives in multiplied forms. Ultimately, living prosperity with generosity is about embodying abundance. It is about recognizing that wealth is not an end in itself, but a channel for good. By allowing money and resources to flow through us, we participate in a larger cycle of giving and receiving that enriches everyone involved. When you live generously, you declare to the world, I am not afraid of lack. I live in overflow. And as life responds to that declaration, you will find that prosperity continues to increase. Not just for you, but for everyone touched by your open hand. We have explored the pillars of the magnetic money mindset, awakening the power of thought, planting seeds with our words, exercising faith as true currency, unlocking the flow through gratitude, and living prosperity through generosity. Together, these principles form a blueprint for abundance that reaches far beyond financial gain. They shape character, influence relationships, and determine how freely life's blessings flow to and through us. The first truth is that abundance begins in the mind. Thoughts act as magnets, drawing into our lives experiences that mirror what we consistently dwell upon. A mind anchored in fear attracts limitation, while a mind rooted in vision attracts opportunities. From there, our words become the next powerful tool. Every phrase spoken is a seed, and those seeds eventually grow into the reality we harvest. By choosing words of increase rather than words of lack, we create a future filled with prosperity. Yet thought and words alone are incomplete without faith, the inner currency that undergirds everything else. Faith is the assurance that supply will appear, even when circumstances seem uncertain. It silences worry, sharpens creativity, and makes us receptive to opportunities others overlook. With faith, small beginnings become stepping stones to great expansion. Gratitude further strengthens this flow. By appreciating what we already have, we signal that we are ready for more. Gratitude transforms ordinary experiences into blessings and turns challenges into lessons. It multiplies resources and shifts focus from scarcity to abundance, aligning us with life's natural rhythm of growth. Finally, prosperity finds its highest expression in generosity. Wealth is not designed to be hoarded, but to circulate. When we give, whether money, time, or kindness, we participate in a greater flow that enriches both giver and receiver. Generosity affirms that we live in abundance, not lack, and it ensures that prosperity continues to return multiplied. In the end, the magnetic money mindset is not about chasing wealth, it is about becoming wealth, embodying abundance in thought, word, belief, gratitude, and action. When we align with these principles, money, opportunities, and blessings naturally gravitate toward us. We no longer struggle to attract prosperity, we radiate it. The call, then, is simple: live with awakened thoughts, speak words of increase, walk by faith, practice gratitude, and give generously. Do this, and abundance will not just visit your life. It will become your permanent companion.